Good morning, everyone. Hope you're doing well. Welcome back to the Tomato Bob YouTube channel. I'm Ben. I wanted to talk today about starting a garden with no money or very, very little money. If you have maybe $5 starting a garden. First, it sounds like it might be a bit of a task, especially for some of us who've put in a lot of time and got a lot of gadgets and containers and equipment and seeds, and that stuff can add up. But it is possible to start a garden with $0. And so I'm going to go over 5 things you can do to kind of help you out with that. First being to repurpose household items. So this is actually a really, really good one, especially if you don't have a yard to plant your seeds in or your garden in. You can really take advantage of, honestly, it's kind of a cliche, but the tried and true milk jug, right? So if you have a milk jug, or even if you have orange juice container, or even a water bottle, I've seen people use water bottles, taking that, cutting off the top, and putting some dirt or some soil in there, you can turn that into a little greenhouse, even keeping the top and putting it back on after you water. You get all the mist and the condensation on the inside of that plastic, which drips back down, keeps it nice and humid. Your plants, especially seedlings, are going to take off. So you can make use of that kind of stuff. Things that, they're technically not free, but maybe you're going to be buying that milk anyway, right? Or that water or that orange juice. So always something to consider there. The other thing is you can use old buckets, old containers. I know those plastic tubs, storage tubs, make actually really great gardens. Now you have to get some dirt or something to fill that in that you can plant in. So that might cost a little bit of money unless you have somewhere you can get some dirt from. But those I actually have a couple in the backyard. So those work great. Next thing I wanted to mention on those is just make sure you have drainage holes. So you can definitely, container gardening is a little bit more difficult in the fact that you can overwater pretty easily, and then you can kind of drown them out, your plants. You also want to make sure you don't underwater them because they don't hold as much moisture, right, as a garden that would be in the ground. So that's something to consider as well. Next, number 2 is start from seeds or cuttings. So I think this is a great tip. So obviously, Tomato Bob sells some seeds. You can get them here, and sometimes you see some sales go off for 99 cents a packet. That's great. But you can start your garden from seeds that you get from produce that you buy. So sometimes if you buy like organic peppers, bell peppers, you get all those seeds inside. You could use all of those. Same with pumpkins or squash, all of those seeds. We have a video on how to save pumpkin seeds that you can check out. And you can save those and then plant those, and you'd be amazed with how many pumpkins you can get from just one seed, let alone all the seeds in a pumpkin. So it's kind of crazy, but totally free there. You also could look for getting that, at the end of Halloween, right? Or maybe just at the end of different growing seasons, or if grocery stores are throwing out some of their produce, a lot of times they'll just let you take that. So always be on the lookout for that kind of stuff. Then also another really good tip is cuttings. So taking cuttings from plants, even tomato plants, you can take a cutting and root it in water, and it'll grow. You can replant that and it'll grow just great. So cuttings can be really, really good, especially because you can get those sometimes from your friends, from your neighbors. Even if you're going to go into growing flowers or something in your garden, lilacs are great. You can do grape cuttings. You can do apple tree cuttings. I mean, there's a ton of stuff out there, so lots of options to get free seeds and cuttings. Next is the soil. So soil can be pretty expensive, especially if you're looking to buy topsoil. What I would suggest is, if you can, obviously use your yard, the free dirt, right? If you don't have a yard and you're going the container route, there's a couple things you can do. So starting with composting, so you can compost some of your scraps that you're gonna have already and put them in there, and kind of go with just it takes some time, right? But build your own compost, and then especially you have a lot of nutrients in there if you do build your own compost, so that's great. But not everybody can do that. Not everyone has space to do that. So you probably, this might be somewhere where you either have to go find a friend who you can say, hey, can I have some of your dirt? Kind of a weird question, right? But go and find some free dirt would be my suggestion there. If you have a little bit of money, you could always buy a bag of dirt from a big box store and use that. But there are some options out there to get free dirt. The other thing is too, you can use water. So like when you grow sweet potato slips, right? Literally, you just stick a sweet potato face down in the water and you wait, and it grows slips, and then you take those off, and you take those and you also put them in water, and then they grow roots, and then you can plant them outside. Or at least that's the method I use. So you can use water. The only thing is if you're trying to grow a whole garden in there, and there's a whole sub method of growing in hydroponics, right, or even aquaponics, where you're not using soil, but it's the nutrients. So in hydroponics, you're adding fertilizer a lot of time. Aquaponics, you're using the fish to kind of fertilize the water. So the plants need nutrients, and tap water, it'll work for a bit, but eventually they're going to need more than that. So if you're going to go the water route, just know that you're going to have to add some kind of fertilizer at some point, right? Next, so number 4 is join a gardening group. So this is actually a great tip. So if you look locally, like you could look on Facebook, you could Google it. There are tons of gardening clubs all around, and some of them are a little exclusive, I'll say. So maybe you can't just join in. Maybe they don't have any openings, or they only have so much space, so they only allow so many members into the club at one time. But you can always reach out to them. You could share some resources with them, or learn some things from them. Sometimes they'll offer plant trades, or they might have some cuttings you can have, or some extra seeds. That's definitely something that a lot of people actually get more seeds than they need, or more seeds that they can grow in a season, so a lot of times they're happy to give them away, but you got to reach out, right? So give them a call, shoot them a Facebook message, and see if they can help you. Last but not least, and this one, you're not saving a ton of money, but if you do collect rainwater, you put a bucket out there and you get a little bit, and you use that to water your plants. You can save money on your water bill, and if you're really going for a no-cost garden, then even that cost of the water, which might not be a ton, is gonna be something you want to look to offset. So finding a way to get free water somehow will help, but also rainwater doesn't have all the additives that tap water can have sometimes, so that's always good for your plants too, and they'll enjoy it. Those are the top 5 tips I have for you. Check out our article down below. Check out the shop if you want to purchase some seeds, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.